and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sakura Spirit. It's been a little bit, but I think we know where we were. We were just in the middle of resting and relaxing after quite a bit of action last time. Let's dive right in. I awoke the next morning to the sun filtering in through the wooden blinds, yawning loudly. The girls had very graciously given me an entire room to myself, and it was certainly a lot bigger than my room back home. Oops, what's the space? It was still early in the morning, likely a bit before breakfast. I decided to spend a short moment to gather my thoughts. It was clear that, in order to learn more about my situation, I would need to pay a visit to the shrine. Maybe I could even find the answers to some other questions that had been lingering in the back of my mind for some while now. The fact that Machiko seemed surprisingly nervous at the mention of Tsuyuri's name made me wonder about the relationship. What could have possibly happened to make Machiko react like that? The apparent hostility between the villagers and the fox spirits was another issue altogether. Of course, I couldn't forget about the fact that I needed to find a way home as well. Just as I finished gathering my thoughts, Mako's voice resounded from the downstairs. "Taka, breakfast is ready. Could you go get sister?" "Sure, we'll be right there." I quickly made my way out of the room, finding myself within one of the corridors of the mansion. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Machiko wandering down the corridor, her lips curving into a smile when she saw me. "No need to look for me, Taka." Mako's voice reached me loud and clear. "Good morning, Machiko. Did you sleep well?" "It was a decent sleep, although perhaps a bit lonely. However, you seem to be getting along well with my little sister." "Taka, ni, was it? Perhaps I should consider you my rival in the quest for the heart of our dear Mako." "Heh, she seems to like it. I guess I'll be stuck with that name for a while." "Oh, is it not to your liking?" "Well, perhaps you would prefer darling instead." "You were watching us?" "Indeed. It was taking you both such a long time, I grew rather curious and snuck out." "But I didn't see you at all." "Well, I am a fox spirit. Hiding myself from humans is like playing hide-and-seek with a child." "Then why didn't you use your hiding skills to hide from the guards?" "Now that you mention it, the thought never occurred to me." "Oh well, it was certainly fun getting chased by them." "Unfortunately, Mako does not have the best control over her change. She is far too excitable and is unable to maintain the illusion. It is her one magical blind spot." "I'm sure it wouldn't have been fun if the Tsundere tyrant caught you both." "That certainly would have been an unpleasant experience. Then again, I am sure you would have wound up saving me, wouldn't you, Taka?" I noticed a very subtle change in Machiko's voice, as the sugar-sweet coated words caused my cheeks to flush red. I wasn't really any good at dealing with this girl's flirty attitude. Stepping backwards, I turned towards the stairs at the end of the corridor and replied in a hurried tone, "Mako is waiting for us." And with that, I rushed towards the kitchen, with Machiko giggling behind me as she followed. "Ah, good morning, both of you. I fixed up some eggs and toast for you. There are some oranges, too." "Ah, wonderful. Thank you, little one. You are getting better at this." To wake up, knowing a pretty girl made my breakfast, it's good to be alive. "Perhaps you would enjoy having one resting by your side as well?" "That's a bit overkill, especially considering the condition of said girl." I recalled the sight of Machiko sleeping yesterday, and my cheeks immediately grew red. I quickly sat down at the table, trying to distract myself by changing the subject. "So, thanks to you two, I learned a little bit about this world. How about I return the favor and talk about mine? Do you have anything you want to ask?" "Oh, yes, I want to know. What are the spirits like in your world?" Spirits, you say?" I thought about her question for a moment before I replied with a sheepish grin. "Well, in my world, spirits only exist in folk tales. They appear in stories, and in certain religions they even worship them. But it's not like we've got them running around like they do in this world." "Folk tales? Worship? Your world is strange, Taka." Aw, that's kind of boring. What about your life? Are you a defender of your village? You said something about judo before. What is that? You mean judo? Well, in my world, people go to this place called school. It's basically a place of knowledge, where you go to learn things before you're considered an adult in our society. But in my world, the defenders are known as the police. They keep things peaceful and such. I'm just a student. I guess you could say that I'm studying to become a defender. Not just of my village, but of my whole country. It was a bit exaggerated, but kind of felt nice to call myself a defender. Heh, that sounds weird. Is the Pole-ese like the army or something? Defending the whole nation? Your world is very strange, Taka. I wouldn't call it strange, Machiko. It's this world that's weird. But no, the police is like the guards in the village. We do have an actual army that defends the country, though. Either way, your world sounds like fun, especially if everyone's like you. Anyway, we... Oh no, dang it! The oranges have worms in them. You. Did you forget to check them again? Oh, how terrible. I must have been overcome with fatigue and never gotten around to checking them properly. Ugh, big old lazy meanie. I'll just have to go and get some apples instead. Ugh, gross. I am not so down with the idea of worms and oranges. Gross. As Mako went outside to grab some apples, my eyes drifted towards Machiko, who was observing me with a content smile, clearly pleased with something. It is a relief to see her in such a good mood. It has been a tough few months, I must admit. She's been upset that her magical skills have not been progressing as fast as they once did. Well, we all have our ups and downs, especially when it comes to studying. I still remember how I used to dread exams. So little time for my judo. It made me rather sad at times. How on... never mind. I'm just wondering something, but I realize I'm an idiot, so... That does sound rather stressful. Tell me, Taka, what exactly is it that you study? I am intrigued by this school notion. Well, my situation is a bit different from most. While I go to school like everybody else, I actually aim to become an athlete. To explain it in a way you'd understand. An athlete is someone who practices a certain sport, and those among them are the best end up representing their country. I have an upcoming tournament that will decide whether or not I am able to represent my country in judo. I think I understand. Your focus is on your strength, while still gathering knowledge to allow yourself a multitude of options. An interesting method. I should thank you. I guess you could say it like that, but why thank me? I believe that your sudden appearance in our world had a lot to do with Mako's newfound joy. I can hear her singing, something I have not heard in weeks. It warms my heart to see her so overjoyed, and I believe it is because of you. Thank you, Taka. I doubt that's the only reason, but you're welcome. I smiled bashfully at Machiko before continuing. Then again, I should also thank you busting my rear out of jail. I don't want to think about what I would have been doing if I was still in the care of this Sundari tyrant. You are most welcome, but please, do not be so hard on Mio. There are many things here beyond her control. But perhaps it is out of your hands for now. I still wish to thank you, Taka. I have been wondering how I might repay you for bringing such joy to Mako. Repay me? For a moment, my thoughts drifted towards a certain idea, but my cheeks quickly turned scarlet red at the thought. No. Taka, you're a hero. You're not supposed to wander there mentally so early. I couldn't ask something like that of her. Also, yes, that too. I'm not sure I have anything in mind. I think your smile is enough. Safe play. You are a true gentleman, Taka. It's a shame, though. I was thinking of such naughty things, too. Oh, come on, Machiko! The fox spirit giggled to herself as she turned towards the garden, watching Mako struggling to descend from one of the trees with an armful of apples. Mako, there are only 3 of us. Your belly does not count for a 4th person. Speaking of a 4th person, it sounded like the 2 of you used to talk a lot with the spirit at the shrine. Why do you get so nervous whenever this Tsuyuri's involved? Nah, that's not important. Oh, is that big giant bird carrying the seed of the world tree? Yeah, maybe it is. I should go and, Tsuyuri, thank you for visiting us today. Machiko-san's right over there. Ah, Tsuyuri! No, I'm sorry, I have been terribly busy. Please forgive me, Tsuyuri. Whoa, I think you'd get that flustered. Is she that amazing of a person? Oh, I guess he just did a, look over there, it's... Okay, so fake. Bait and switch. You don't understand. It is complicated. There are certain skills that I, as a fox spirit, possess. A subtle way of talking or acting that influence how people perceive me. They are... I suppose they would be considered social skills, but for spirits. Tsuyuri is capable of completely negating these, and it leaves me feeling rather nervous and helpless. I see. So she's basically immune to your flirting, and... Connecting the dots in my mind, I planted my palm against the flat of my forehead. Ah, now I get it. You are afraid of approaching her because this Tsuyuri is a bigger flirt than you. But if she's flirting with you... Ah, I see. You swing that way. For some reason, I suddenly felt rather disappointed. Oh. Really? Disappointment? I guess. That's not true. What? I mean, she does have an overpowering presence, but that does not allow me to properly do my thing. I'm not sure what you mean by swinging, however. It means that you know, like girls? Oh, really? Well, how about we forget all about Tsuyuri for now, and I show you exactly which way I do swing, Taka. That won't be necessary. Wow, straightforward. But she must be quite the challenge to deal with, considering. I briefly lowered my voice to a whisper. You're already a handful to deal with once you start your teasing. You like it, Taka. Huh. Perhaps you are less the gentleman than I thought you to be, Taka. What am I, then? A lovable rogue, perhaps? Or perhaps you see yourself as more a hero type. Of course I'm a hero. Not a perverted one, but a hero nonetheless. Machiko! Taka! Welcome back, Mako. How did the hunt for the golden apple go? No golden ones, but I got a load of good ones. There's even one shaped like a heart. You can have that one, Taka. An apple shaped like a heart. Interesting. Does this mean you're confessing your love to me by giving me this? Maybe I am. I seriously think Ichikawa would kill me if he saw me in my current situation. Ichikawa would kill you after, like, the 4th second you were in this world. Wouldn't take all this way. He would have killed you in the bed when you woke up next to Machiko, and why, thank you, fair lady. I shall savor every moment of its sweet flavor. Mako, how could you betray your love of me, your one and only sister? Did our time together mean nothing? Oh my! But I love you too, sister. I found a super big apple for you. Polygamy at its finest. Why that comment, Taka? It's not like you're married. Well, we'd better hurry up. We're going to see Tsu. Wait, what? I thought we would at least need to ask her permission and wait until she grew bored enough to reply. Look at how dark Machiko's face got there. I know, but when I was picking apples, I found one of her tiny familiars. She said she wanted to see us today. Oh, crap. Several hours later, 5 minutes later, following the directions Mako had received, we set off from the mansion. The three of us made our way through the forest, somehow managing to stay en route with the help of the familiar. It didn't take us long before we arrived at the place where Machiko had fallen into the river. They say that a cautious fox is worth 2, so we made it past the river without further ado. I wonder what Tsuyuri's familiar is. So according to these familiars, the shrine is supposed to be up ahead. Wait, familiars? There's multiples? I thought there was one. My gaze had fallen upon a series of steps that went up from the hill from the dirt path. a gate standing at the top. Oh no. What could she want from us? She never summons us. She always just bumps into us by chance. Why has she called for us, I wonder? You're so silly. I'm sure it's nothing to be worried about. Maybe she has found a way to stop my headaches. Now that would be truly wonderful, but it's no use guessing. With a stride of confidence in my steps, I swiftly climbed up the stairs, the girls quickly following in my wake. One was mimicking my own bold steps, while the other followed small, slow paces. Come on, Machiko. Why don't we make a game of it, to take your mind off of it? We could play Hop Along Dandy. Hop! Ha! Mako. The spunky girl hopped past me, giving out commands that the older girl seemed to be following. They both moved one step at a time, either hopping, stepping, or jumping to the next step. When one fumbled, the other took another step, and the command switched to the other girl. It's kind of like a weird game of Simon Says. The panic that had almost set in had seemingly vanished as Machiko continued the silly little game with her sister. The two soon reached the top of the steps, and a voice I could have sworn I heard somewhere before resounded in the air. I don't remember the voice I used for Sayuri the first time. How adorable. Mako hasn't changed a bit in all these years, still hopping around on my doorstep like a bunny. Oop! At the sound of the voice, Machiko let out a cry of surprise, her body trembling slightly as its owner revealed herself. The one responsible for Machiko's response seemed to be a familiar figure that hopped off the gate with ease and landed gracefully before us, her tail sweeping back and forth through the air. And Machi, I'm so delighted to see you again. It has been a while since we last played. Have you been well? Yeah, I don't dig the horns. Like, I guess they match up with, like, the weird demon-y tail and the whole purple and black theme, but not a big fan of the horns. Hi, Tsu. We were playing a really fun game just now. Hello, Sayuri. You're doing well, thank you. It did look like a very cute game. Then again, it might have just been because you two really cute girls were playing it. Still, I'm surprised you didn't join them, human. Couldn't keep up with their steps. I was more interested in meeting you than playing some game. How unfortunate. To ignore the appeal that games hold. Isn't it healthy to always look upon life with such serious... Oh. It isn't healthy to always look upon life with such serious and worrisome attitudes. Isn't that right, dear Machi? That's not fair, Tsu. Taka didn't know the rules, and it wouldn't be fair to bring someone in halfway. If he learns how to play, I'm sure he'll join in next time. It's not healthy? Machiko, that's an awful, like, just... The girl took a deep breath and closed her eyes, composing herself. Mako's right. Taka has yet to learn the game. It's not his fault. A very odd sense of defensiveness coming from Machiko here. I'm just teasing him, dearest. There's no need to get so worked up. But I'm glad that you all are here. One thing surprises me, however. What is it? The fact that your precious Taka is here with you. Doesn't it strike you both as odd? A human like him, being so friendly with spirits. The last time I recall seeing such a thing was when my chi was but a toddler. This has me curious. Why is he here with you, rather than someone of his own kind? That's... the guards from the village. They arrested him because of our actions. He helped us escape and was arrested instead. We rescued him and allowed him to stay with us. It's fine, I swear, he's just a nice human. He seems to be, not from around here, though. You need not take offense, my dear. I simply find it rather fascinating to see a human defend a spirit. I'm well aware that he's not from the village. Yeah, because you brought us here. I take little interest in the closed-minded humans of this realm. So, your assumption is correct. The boy is not a being of this world. No, frowny face. And yet, he might end up playing an important role, whether or not he likes it. I already told Mako and Machiko this before, but it doesn't matter to me whether they're spirits or not. I like this place. That said, I'd still like to get back to my own world. I have an important tournament to prepare for. Ah, right, your upcoming battle. Let's take this decision inside, shall we? We will await your return, Taka. It seemed like the sisters could no longer accompany me. Feeling nervous, my steps grew a bit hesitant as I followed the spirit inside. Here we are, the place of our very first conversation. I guess now would be a good time to introduce myself. My name is Tsuyuri, and just like your two companions out there, I am one of the spirits that inhabit this realm. But you're different from them, aren't you? I didn't even notice the chains on her tails. On her tail. That's weird. How observant of you. Yes, there is a difference between myself and most other spirits. Spirits abide to rather simple hierarchy. The stronger the spirit, the higher their standing. Then again, strength is often associated with experience. So, what, you're saying that you're an ancient being or something like that? I wouldn't go that far, Takahiro. It's rude to question a girl's age. Yeah, like, does she look ancient? Come on, Taka. Get with the program. But let's move to the subject of your desire to return to your own world. You're gonna send me back? Great. Oh, naivety. I'm afraid sending you back is beyond my capabilities, of course. Hold on. Weren't you the one who sent me here in the first place? I'm afraid that wasn't the case. It was your wish that sent you here. During our first encounter, I did mention that this place was special, didn't I? Now that I thought about it, she did mention something along those lines. I briefly closed my eyes, trying to recall what she had said before. This is a place like no other. That's right. That's right. Having spent some time with the fox spirits, you likely already know that there is magic in this world. However, it is not as though Mako herself possesses said magic. Rather, her body is simply able to connect with it. That sounds a bit complicated. The bodies of people who are capable of using magic create a special kind of link to the magic of this world. Try to imagine it like this. The magic within this world flows through several gateways. We commonly refer to them as mana gateways. This is getting very complex here, sister. Those who possess the ability to use magic draw on the mana flowing from these gates. A different term for these people is mana receivers. So, you're also drawing on this magic? Ha! No, my boy, I am not borrowing the magic of this realm. I'm powerful enough to perform magic on my own. Okay, so now you are severely confusing me. However, this shrine is located on a mana gateway, which could explain why the shrine in your world is said to be capable of granting wishes. Then why can't you use your magic, that magic, to send me back? Because it is not my magic that brought you here. It is the magic of the shrine, or rather, the world itself that pulled you into this realm. So you're saying I'm stuck here forever? Not forever. You simply need to carry out the will of the world. Well, that doesn't sound like an impossible task. Oh, great. You're saying this world has a will of its own now? And how the hell am I supposed to figure out what it wants me to do? That's what you have me for, silly. I'm the guardian of this shrine, so obviously I know of its intentions. In your case, the task you were given was quite a harsh one. Don't tell me I have to collect wedding sashes. And marry my Maichi in the process? You wish. Ooh, harsh. You're dishing it out. Teasing aside, this region is having a fair share of problems. Humans and spirits have lived apart for a long time, but it wasn't always like this. Wait, spirits have a world of their own? Yes, but that realm has started to merge with this one, causing some spirits to find themselves trapped here. Unfortunately, this has happened before the more powerful spirits had the opportunity to reverse the damage done. Does that mean Michiko and Mako are... They don't belong in this world, although neither of them are likely to realize this. They were very much alike human toddlers when they first arrived in this world. I slowly started to understand the reason why the fox spirits and the villagers were in such bad terms. Anyone would be restless if beings from another world, that which you have never heard of, suddenly showed up at your doorstep. Is that why there's so much tension between them and the villagers? I'm afraid that the Fox sisters became the victims of a misunderstanding. You see, Machi and Mako aren't the only spirits within this realm. There are others, which have caused things to escalate. You mean there are other Fox spirits? Not Fox spirits, but other spirits. They were sent into this realm just like the sisters, but unfortunately they were sent rather far from here. Well, Machi and Mako were close enough for me to care for them. The others weren't so lucky. What do you mean? Did something happen to them? Along with Mako and Machi, four other spirits were sent here when the worlds briefly merged. Unlike the Fox sisters, those four didn't have anyone to watch over them, and as a result, they grew rather spoiled and wild. So what you're saying is, spirits going wild? That sounded like a recipe for trouble. Yes, they grew oblivious to the ways human society worked, and their behavior made humans mistake them for monsters. Even now, those girls and their games are mistaken for acts of violence, and as a result, tensions arose between the spirits and humans. So Machiko and Mako are discriminated against because of those spirits? You could say that, yes. Then why didn't you try to stop them? Because I cannot leave this forest. I am the guardian of this shrine, guardian spirit of this shrine. I cannot leave my domain. I couldn't help but wonder what purpose all this talk about spirits served. Yeah, it's a plot dump and a half, holy crap. Could it have had something to do with my finding my way back home? Do you think solving the problem with these spirits could be my ticket out of here? Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if dealing with those spirits would solve the problems between spirits and humans. It would be difficult to track them down, but there may be an opportunity for you soon. An opportunity? I'm sensing one of them, headed through the forest towards the village. If you can convince Machi and Mako to help you protect the village, the villagers might be willing to accept them. That did make sense. If Machiko and Mako were seen protecting the village from a possible threat, they might be forgiven for the panties incident. The panties incident. Wonder if that ever made its way into any history textbooks from this world. Do you think it'll work? Only time will tell. For now, you'd better get the girls and make haste towards the village before the wild spirit causes any more damage. Nodding my head in agreement, I quickly ran outside, trying to think of how I would convince Machiko and Mako to help me save the village. Surely, they would be better off as known as heroes than as pranksters. However, I doubted that the sisters held the feelings of fondness towards the villagers, considering their continued treatment of the two girls. I wonder how he'll solve the challenges set before him. I found Machiko and Mako talking on the steps leading back into the forest. The two girls looked like they were playing a game similar to hopscotch on the wide shrine steps. It was time for me to figure out how to convince the girls. But convincing the girls is for next time. We've just had a hell of a long plot dump. So I'm going to click my ever useful save button. Boop. Yes. And I'm going to call it here. When we come back next time, we're going to have to convince these girls to help defend a village from another wild spirit. Till next time, guys. Later.